Hey folks, I'm Lucy at Ballyhoo Creations, and in this video in the Doll Maker series, I'm going to show you how to add a wire armature so you can make any cloth doll posable or turn it into a stop-motion puppet. The process might seem intimidating at first, but it's really easy to do, and the cost of wire for one small doll is less than $1, so it's not even expensive. But you'll need some tools and supplies, so let's start there. This technique for making wired armatures works on any cloth doll. I'm going to use one of my own doll bodies for this, but any cloth doll that you have, or even a sculptured doll with a polymer clay head, can use this style of wire armature. For the materials, we're going to need 2 different sizes of armature wire, and you can get this at either Michael's Crafts or you can order it online at Amazon. This is an aluminum armature wire, and this thick one is 1/8 of an inch or 0.125 inches. That's of 1/8 of an inch for the thick wire, and then the thin wire is 1/16 of an inch, and that will be used for the arms. Got the doll body, got my armature wire, I've got some pliers. You can use the wire cutter on the pliers or have a separate pair of wire cutters. You need some electrical tape and some scissors to cut the tape with. First thing I'm going to do is measure the doll to see how much wire I need. For this kind of doll, if you measure from the top of the neck down to the toe and get that measurement, this one is about 9.5 inches. I'm just going to write it right here on the table for you. And I want 3 times that length. So about 28.5 inches is what I need for the thick wire that's going to be for the body and the feet or the legs. So I've cut a piece of wire 28.5 inches. I may have even gone a little extra for 30 inches and then fold it in half. And then just go ahead and twist the wire around itself a few twists. And what you want is from the neck part to fit in the neck, as you can see there, and then you want the hip area of the doll to come down to right around the doll's groin or crotch area. I'm going to have to say crotch area a lot in this video. Sorry. And then give it a few extra twists. You want a little tighter twist there, just like that. And now you can see that's a good length. And then spread the extra wire out where the legs are and then bend them down like this so that you form hips. If you go straight in a V shape, your doll will not stand as well as if you do this square hipped shape. So from the neck down to the crotch area, and now we're ready to do the feet. I just place my needle nose pliers at the bottom and bend. Same thing on the other side, and you want the pliers to be right at the edge of the fabric, and that way you'll get the right length. Do the same thing right outside the toe area and bend it back on itself to make a loop, and that's going to be the toe loop. And for the ankle loop, this will make the doll more sturdy and stand better. Same thing right outside of the fabric area right there. And then bend it around, and we're looking for something like a paper clip shape. And then that excess, we just clip that off. And this is why I like those clippers that can get right up next to the wire. Otherwise, you have to bend the wire kind of away from the foot and then cut it with the wire cutters like the ones on the pliers, and then just squeeze it to be a little skinnier, because we need that foot wire to fit in the cloth foot. That's for this particular doll. You may have a doll pattern that has a wider foot, and that's fine too. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Bend the toe loop. And making sure I get the foot length correct from the toe, and then right outside the fabric line there, and bend it around. This gives us a loop at the toe and the heel so that the doll will stand nicely. And then cut off that excess. And do be careful when you cut the wires, because they might kind of shoot out like a bullet, so be careful of that. And then just flattening those wires out. And again, squeezing them to make sure that they're going to fit in that cloth foot area. If they're too big, it'll be hard to get it in there. We're actually going for something about the size of a paper clip. Little bit of electrical tape. You only need a couple of inches just to kind of wrap the end of that wire so that it doesn't poke out of your fabric later on. The tape will hold it in place and keep it from poking through. Just a few wraps. So the body and leg piece is done. Now we're ready to do the arms. I've got my thin wire for the arms. Just so we know the length of wire we need for the arms, I'm going to measure from hand all the way across to the other hand. And again, I'm going to triple that measurement. So if it was 7 inches from hand to hand, it's going to be 21 inches for my example here. So I'm going to cut 21 inches of wire. And this is the thin wire I'm using for the arms. Go ahead and fold it over about 1 to 2 inches extra there and give it a couple of twists and then open it out. And we want that area where the wire is joined to be inside the body. And then the edges are going to be the hands. And we just twist and twist and twist. We want to get a nice tight twisted wire. And as you twist, it's going to shrink and shorten the length of that wire. That's what we want. If your arms are a little too long, that's okay. You can just scrunch some of it into the body to make them the length that you need. See, my arms are a little bit too long, but that's going to be okay. I'm going to twist it a little and see if I can get it a little bit shorter. Now, to join the arm wire to the body, I'm going to open that loop up just a little bit so that I can slip one of those end wires into the body. Just kind of thread it through there. You can open that up a little bit more so it's easier to thread through. And then give it a few more twists. And then tighten that body back up again. Just twist it back to where you had it. And then just try to get those extra little pieces of wire from the arms as flat as you can against the body, and the pliers are very helpful to get that flattened out. I'm going to use some electrical tape again, and I'm going to tape the hip area just above the hips to make sure that this doesn't come loose. Keeps those together there. And I'm going to be generous with my electrical tape and wrap the ends of the arm wire so that they don't poke out, and also kind of around the arms and shoulder area too. And this is really just to keep those little ends of the wire from poking through the doll when it's finished. So that's our armature. Not so hard, was it? I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate how to get the armature into the body. This particular doll has a waist opening and it's rather small, so this is one of the trickier ones to do. But it's not hard. Just go ahead and put the legs in first, and I kind of have the feet where they're straight out. And then just coax the foot fabric around that armature. Hopefully you've got it squeezed tight enough so that it'll fit in there. And then when you straighten out that foot, it'll just kind of pop into the heel area there. Remember that paperclip shape that we did? You want that ankle to be in the ankle part of the doll's feet there, and get them nice and flat. Now for the top part, just bend the torso of the doll, and it's just going to dive into the fabric body. Don't worry about breaking it. Armature wire is very strong. Just bend it. Get the arms in there. It is fidgety. Just be patient and work very slowly, just a little bit of fabric at a time. And you really have to bend to get that head piece or the neck piece in there. And then once you've got that, you can go ahead and slide the fabric over the wire armature until it's all the way up into the neck and the hands are in place. And remember, this is double speed, so don't expect that you'll be going this fast. Okay, the armature neck is in there, the arms are in, and I'm just going to flatten it out, and it's done. And then you can just turn the feet towards the front, and there you go. You can go ahead and stuff as little or as much as you want now that the armature is inside there. And to get them to stand, you may have to press the armature in the feet and get it flat against the table. Sometimes as we're inserting the armatures, they get a little bent out of shape, so you just need to press it down and flatten those little paper clip shapes down in the feet so that it'll stand up straight. It's nice and sturdy. And that's how it's done. We started out with simple tools and materials, and then we bent and twisted the wire into a shape to fit our cloth doll. And finally, you saw the technique to insert the armature into the small cloth doll body and make it stand on its own. You could use these same techniques for any kind of doll, just change the size and shape of the armature using your doll as a guide. If you have any questions, you can leave a comment under this video or contact me at my website, ballyhoocreations.com. I have several patterns for making dolls, plushies, and puppets, and many of them are designed for the embroidery machine, what I call a stitching robot. So check that out if it's new to you, and be sure to check out the other videos in my doll maker series for tools, fabrics, turning, stuffing your dolls, plushies, puppets, all of that. See you later, folks.